Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you're new to me and this is the first time you're seeing my face, hello, my name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So I hope that's why you're here, because that's what's going to be happening. If you are not new to me, thank you for always tuning in and the continued support. I really, really appreciate it. So today for you, I have my weekly wrap up. This is from May 22nd through May 28th and all my reading shenanigans in between. And I've got quite a bit to talk about. So if you have not already, go grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, and we're going to talk some books. I feel like I should create like a little theme song intro for right there, because it's like a perfect pause. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. So anyway, weekly wrap up. So this week, fantastic. Loved almost everything that I read this week. Yeah, great reading week. This week was definitely a nice ending full week to my birthday month. I enjoyed almost everything I read, a lot of good ones. So let's just dig right in. The first book I read this week was a physical book, and it was Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. I finally completed this. This is the third installment of the Throne of Glass series, and this series just, oh my God, this thing just keeps getting better and better and better and better, and I am getting more sucked in and more involved and more engrossed and just in awe of these characters. I can't go into too much detail about this installment because it is literally the middle of this series, and by giving away a lot of stuff in it, you are going to have the other books ruined along with this one. So all I gotta say is this is fucking phenomenal. There are multiple storylines going on in this book. We are meeting new characters that are going to be heavy players in the future and coming installments, and I am down. Sign me up. Give me Queen of Shadows right now. I need to read this book. Like, this is awesome. And the ending in this, I'm still in shock and still like, what the fuck's happening? Like, no, you can't do this to me. Sarah's already ripped my heart out and stomped on it when she separated my two people, and now she's gonna do this. No, please don't do this to me. Please, my fragile being cannot take it. Yeah, fragile like a bombshell. But I just can't. But this book, I got to meet some new characters. Rowan, he's going to be someone important. And I'm really hoping that there is some little something going on between them, because yeah, their chemistry, fire. Oh my God. Selena and Rowan's chemistry, just all of the feels and the burns and the feelings, and just, oh my God. I think Rowan might be my new favorite male character in this story. Even more than Kale, which I still love me Kale. I still love him, but he's a little lost right now. He's a little lost, and he was lost in this book and was not feeling it. Was not feeling him this book because he was lost, but he came back in the end. We're good. We're good. I'm back. He's back, but we're good. But this Rowan guy. Yes. Oh God. Yes. Just, Mwah. We also got to meet, I'm calling her Manon. It might be Manon and Abrexos. This witch character, this woman, villain, don't care. She's a badass. Love her. I want more books about her. Like, I want a whole series just about her. Can Sarah write a spin-off series about her? Because yes, thank you. I only saw her in this one installment. I'm sure she's probably gonna piss me off later on, because Sarah seems to like to piss me off, but it's fine. But right now, I love her. Even if she's a baddie. She's a bad bitch. Like her. We also got to meet Adian, who is Selena's cousin. Thought he was a douche in the beginning. Turns out he's pretty awesome. Just saying, he's pretty dope. And then we got to meet some spies, and we got to meet Maeve. And I know Maeve and Selena are they're gonna go some rounds. Oh yeah, they're gonna go some rounds. This read along that I'm participating in, the SJM read along by Jen at the Book Refuge. That's how I started picking up these books. I will link her videos down below. Oh my God. I am so happy that I'm participating in this, and I am kicking myself every time I pick up one of Sarah J. Maas's books. Is like, why did I wait so long to read these? These are fan-fucking-tastic. This is awesome. Sarah is literally becoming a favorite author every installment that I pick up. I'm just having a blast with these books. Such a blast. It was a great way to start off this reading week, was with Heir of Fire. Oh my god. Oh, and that battle scene. Selena went fucking ballistic and awesome, and she killed people. Yes. All of the yes. All of it. Loved it. Loved it. So good. But while I was reading this book, I was listening to an Audible book. And the Audible book I was listening to was Alien King Crashes the Wedding by Becca Brayden. And here's the cover. Yeah, we're talking some alien books. Yep. I took the dive, and you know what? I'm glad I did. This was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. This is great. This is the first installment of the Lumerian, I think it's how to say it, Lumerian Knights quartet. There's only 4 installments out right now, but I don't think the series is over. So it's just quartet right now. It was narrated by Teddy Hamilton, who also narrated Deliver, and I really enjoyed his performance. So when I found out he was narrating this book, I was like, yeah, I'll pick this one up. I really like his voice. Super sexy. This is an alien-human romance. I don't really know how to categorize that, but yeah. Very graphic content and dubious consent is shown in this book. So this book, excuse me. Okay, moment. So this book follows Sasha and Dagon. Sasha is an art dealer who is the best friend of a woman getting married to a Kaldorian, and Dagon is the Kaldorian king, and who the groom is his best friend. So he decides to crash the wedding because he didn't think he'd actually be able to show up. And of course, you know, maid of honor, best man, little something something, have some fun on a wedding. It's like a week-long wedding event, or what they call a binding ceremony. And Dagon is just in awe of Sasha. He thinks she's beautiful and just everything he wants. It's insta-love, insta-lust, actually, not insta-love, insta-lust. I mean, he's just all about her. That attraction is right there in your face. He greets her by laying like the biggest kiss on her you've ever seen in your entire life. And it's so weird because I enjoy this alien story a little bit more than Ice Planet Barbarians, because he is trying to use Earth's customs of like greetings, but he's butchering them, and it's really funny. And the communication between them, yes, they are speaking in English, there is no communication barrier, but the words that they're using mean different things in their cultures. So when they finally get to the, you know, fun times, super sexy fun times, the word choices that they're using to describe what they're doing is really interesting. Kaldorians have what they call a claiming, and that's when they actually have sex with their mate. But the way Sasha is understanding, it's like, I just want a kind of a little 1 week fling, kind of have some fun with it. It's cool. She also happens to be a virgin. That was a little, whatever. No virginal crap, whatever. It was fine. But I really enjoyed this. There was enjoyable characters. Dagon is super sweet, but yet he's very dominant, and I like that. Like, he's a nice dominant, and it's really sweet. And Teddy Hamilton, the voice he used for him, oh, it was brilliant. He did such a good job with this. Oh, so good. So good. The author left a lot of plot points open in this book for future installments. So she did pebble in the fact that she was going to be continuing this in a series, but they weren't so open that they were obnoxiously open. She made reference to them. They worked with the original plot, but yet they weren't so like gaping holes that I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Who is this person? Everything was fleshed out and explained. Really, really enjoyed it. I like the fact that when I was talking about the language, the acknowledgement of the misunderstandings was acknowledged and corrected. So Dagon has this really unique way of dominating, and it was great. So, story time. I'm driving in my car, and I'm listening to this on my car stereo by myself, and it's the first hookup scene. And Dagon tells her exactly what he's going to do. Clear as bell, tells her, and then says, tell me what I'm gonna do, and has her repeat it back. And she doesn't really do it very well. He's like, no, tell me in your words what I'm going to do, and that you agree. And I'm telling you, I never listened to this book in my car again because I could not focus. The way Teddy Hamilton voiced that scene and the tone he used, oh my God, I felt like I was Sasha. Swear to God, I was just like, yes, you're gonna do this, and I am all for it. Have at it. I was in it. I was in the moment. Oh, it was so good. I was turned on by this book so freaking much. It was phenomenal. That's probably my favorite scene in this book, is that one. And it was just done so well. Becca Brayden fucking nailed it with that scene. I was hooked at that scene. I was like, I'm reading the rest of the series. Done. If all of her sex scenes are like this, I'm in it. Let's go. Found me some aliens that I like. Yay. They are 7 foot though. I don't know why people think aliens are so big. Like, I never imagine aliens being like big creatures. But in all the alien romance I'm reading, they're like massive giants. I'm cool with that. Better than little green, weird-eyed guy. So, yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this. The only thing that I thought could have worked better with it was I could have had a little bit more fleshing out with the characters. Like, this is a good basis. It's excellent. I loved it. But I could totally see her, if she wanted to, fleshing this out and making this like a fantasy series. Not just a romance, but like a fantasy, because of the battles that she's got going in place, the political machinations that are going on in future installments. Oh my God, this could be epic with fucking great sex scenes. Now, however, I only gave it a 3.5 on the chili pepper scale, which is the same scale that Jen at the Beck Refuge uses. She created it. I'll link her down below, so give her credit. I did not come up with the chili pepper scale on my own. Hers is perfect. I see nothing wrong with it because she's a genius. So, the sex scenes were very graphic in description. As I said, he blatantly told her what he was going to do and then told her to repeat it back to him. Now, if you're not into domination and submission, then you're probably not going to get off on that. But me, fuck yeah, that was great. Oh, it was just, I had never seen it done like that before, and it was fantastic. Oh my God, it was great. And then obviously there was very much on consent to the forefront. So I thought with the sex scenes that they brought it around every single time, thought that was great. You might consider it dubious consent because she's telling you I agree, even though he told her to agree, but you know what I mean. It is kind of there, but I thought it was fantastic. And I loved every single second of it. And I put a thoughts section on my notes, immediately continuing, and cheered for the first sex scene because I definitely did. I cheered. I'm so glad I was alone in my car because I was so excited. And it wasn't even because of the buildup. It was, she did that sex scene so good. So good. Oh my God. This woman is talented as fuck. The words they use were on point. It wasn't overly graphically dirty language. Like it wasn't necessary language. It was all necessary and it was on point, and she followed through, and it was so freaking good. And there was maju paste, which is something special to these alien people, which was a really cool element. And I can't go any further on that because you got to read the series to understand the maju paste. But if that stuff existed, fuck yeah, I would totally use that. Yeah. All right, so after I finished that, I immediately went into the second, which is Alien Knight Steals the Bride by Becca Brayden. Here's this cover. So this one follows Torin and Juliet. Torin, we actually don't meet in the first book, but we are informed about him. We actually met his character because he has been kidnapped. He is a Lumerian Knight. Dagon is the king of Kaldor. He's a Kaldorian king. Torin is a Lumerian Knight, which are these like elite military forces on Kaldor. and Torrin is a Lumerian Knight, and he's also what we call a mirror twin. And in the first book, we meet his twin, and that's how we learn about Torrin has been captured. We can't find him, and so we're walking into Alien Knight steals the bride, Torrin is kidnapped, and he is trying to escape, and in his process of trying to escape, he encounters Juliet, who has been kidnapped by the... Oh, I can't remember the name of the villains are. Vilitas. They're like lizard people. They're, gross. Remind me of giant lizards. Yeah, kind of gross. But anyway, they're assholes. That's all you really gotta know about the Vilitas, is they're fucking assholes. So, Julia has been kidnapped by the Vilitas during a bombing of Earth that happens, an attack that happens in the first installment. So the tie-in, very cohesive. Everything links up and matches up. There's not any of these weird, what the fuck did you just do kind of crap. We're just picking some random person. So, Torrin rescues Juliet, but in the process of rescuing Juliet, he gets mortally wounded. And so Juliet, who happens to be a nurse, is trying to figure out what's going on. They have stolen a spaceship, and she knows really nothing, so she's just going off what she sees in movies and like, AI system, tell me where I am, like talking to a ship randomly. And the ship actually talks back to her, which is great. And she has to go get a specific type of water to heal Torrin. Because she learns through communication with the AI system and her being able to get a hold of a doctor on Earth, Dr. Jargon, which I think we may see in a future installment. Not quite for sure, but we mentioned him a few times, so we probably could. Just saying. And has to save him. And so they have mutually saved each other. So this is like, I don't want to say it's a Romeo and Juliet situation, because it's really not, but they have both mutually saved each other, and that's where their bond kind of develops. Except Juliet, she doesn't want anything serious. She just, it's like, hey, you're fucking hot, and I saved you, let's rock this, let's do this. And Torrin obviously is insta-love, insta-lust, the whole 9 yards, but he has a mission to accomplish first that he has to do before he can go back home, because that's what he was doing before he got kidnapped. So that's where our story bounces off, and there are all these crazy shenanigans, and Juliet won't listen because she's a kind of a kickfire, and she wants to help, and Torrin's like, no, you have no idea what the fuck you're doing, lady, even though you did totally save me. A lot of, again, misunderstandings, but it's more of a misunderstandings of sexes, like I'm a man, you're a female. So I kind of like the fact that the first installment was about the language barrier between people and how people understand words to be different things. And so there are a lot of misunderstandings. And this one is the misunderstanding of doubting what someone else can do based off their sex and then been proven wrong. And I thought that was fantastic. I loved it. Loved it. This, we learn a lot of twists in this book for future installments as well. More future plot points. Just Becca is on it with these plot points. Like, she could carry the series on forever. Like, there's a bunch of characters and we're like, I want a book about him. I want a book about her. I want a book about him. And I want a book about this fucker over here, which if you read the book, you'll understand what this fucker is behind me. It's great. He's awesome. So, again, this was an audio book and it was narrated by, the same man who narrated, the first installment of it, Alien Knights Steals the Bride, and that's Teddy Hamilton. He did a fantastic job yet again. He used a different voice for Torrin, so it wasn't really sounding like Dagon, but it was a little, but yeah, it was great. It was great. The connections were fantastic to the previous installments. The chemistry between these two lead characters, you knew off the bat that they were going to be great. I just knew it. I knew just based off of the way that they interact with each other in the very beginning, it was fantastic. This one, so Dagon had a very verbal dominance. Torrin has more of a subversive dominance, almost to the level of kind of manipulation. He listens to what Juliet says, but he follows exactly verbatim what she says, but his physical... Okay, so the way I got this is she said she wanted, just like today. I'm promising today. I can't promise you forever. I'm promising you today. And he's like, okay, I'm going to make you promise forever. So in his mind, he's going to do everything she wants to the best of his ability to make her want to promise another day and then another day. And it's this really interesting way of kind of enveloping her. He is doing exactly what she wants, exactly how she wants it, so well that she will continuously ask for it again because he can read that that's what she wants. And it was just very, very well done. Torrin was great. Loved him. The only things that really didn't work in this book were this book could be like a high fantasy with a lot of action, and the fight scenes, they were fantastic. What I got of them were great, and I would have loved to have them expanded upon, more political machinations involved, because this one you start to get a little bit more political. And like, seriously, she could build this into this massive book series that romance is an element of it, but it's not the entirety of it. If she ever wanted to branch out and really flesh the story out, I think she definitely has a winner here. I would definitely read this as a high fantasy sci-fi novel. Definitely. In a heartbeat. Because her action sequences, they do need a little work, but she's a romance author. But that is something that she could she could cultivate and build on, and then be this like massive powerhouse with like action scenes and murder scenes and romance scenes, because her sex scenes are already fucking fantastic. Which, sex scenes are hard to fucking write because it's kind of a personal thing, you know? This one only got a 3.75 on Chili Pepper scale. There were not as many sex scenes in this book, but the ones that there were, they were nice. There was a lot of internalized sexual fantasies, so there wasn't actual sexual scenes of them joining. It was more in their heads of like, I imagine him doing this, I imagine her doing this, I imagine doing this to her, I imagine doing this to him, and you hear that, but that never actually comes to fruition, except in a few times. But there was the sex scenes that they were very intense, they were edge of the seat, they were steamy, they were nice, and I enjoyed them immensely. Yep. The last one in this book. Oh my God. I kind of want the rings now. I'm not gonna lie. I wish those things were real. That'd be so cool. It was great. This was fantastic. Loved it. Once I put this down, I picked up The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. I did not read The Assassin and the Healer last month, so I read that one and The Assassin in the Desert, and I enjoyed both of these. The Assassin and the Healer was a nice little short, shows Selena in kind of her I give a shit sort of way, like I actually care about people thing, and you see the softer side of Selena, and then in the Desert, I need a whole book on that point in time. Like, that was awesome. That was a great fight sequence. That was great buildup. That was great dialogue with people, even though it was a silent assassins. I thought it was fantastic. It was great plot development. There was a lot of things that were mentioned in that story that you see in this one. So I got to learn some more about it. So it was great tie-in. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The first one gave me a little bit of Selena, but these next two, now that I'm more involved in the series, I'm really appreciating these a lot more, because I'm just getting this other side of Selena that I'm not getting in the actual main series, because it's not, I don't want to say it's not necessary, because it is necessary, but you're still going to enjoy the story without it. But these just add another level to her, and you're just like, yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Oh, great. These are fantastic. I gave the Healer 3 stars and In the Desert 5 stars, because it was my favorite of the two, and it was on point. I really did enjoy these a lot. And once I finished those, yeah, I still going. I read a lot this week, guys. Aren't you proud of me? I read a lot. I started Ruth Rendell's The Girl Next Door. This is my buzzword challenge book of the month. I have to do a book with the directions, and it's next. I'm like that. I read that. But what I've read so far, this thing is weird. This is weird. It's kooky. And I hope it starts making sense soon. It is a thriller. And so far, I've had a murder. I've had some hands found. And I have a lot of banter between a lot of really elderly people. And if you've ever sat down in a room with a bunch of elderly people that have known each other since they were kids, and you don't say anything, you just listen. That is how all this dialogue is. It'll go on topic and then it'll go off on another topic and then they'll like revert back around. And Ruth Rendell, it's great the way she does it. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of that because it's kind of irritating because I'm jumping from story to story to story, but I get what she's trying to do. This is what elderly people do. They're like, oh, do you remember so-and-so? She's married now. Oh, I heard this about this, like just these little gossip queens. And I love it. I love it. And the gossip means nothing because it's all stuff that happened way back in the day. And then you have the inevitable like, oh, bless her heart, because she's dead. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm in a retirement home listening to some cool ass old people talk about some cool ass old stories. And it's neat, but they're all talking over each other. So you have to kind of break the stories up and then they get kind of squished together. And so it's an interesting experience for me for this, but I'm not that far into it right now. So I don't really have much to say, except that's the one comment I have is that I've never seen that done in a book before. And I really enjoy it. Not so much in real life, but I really enjoy it and how it's used here. So I'm hoping that it will, clarify and get a little bit clearer, but I kind of want to know what the murder was about. Cause like, I mean, the murder is literally the first chapter and you already know who does it. So I'm kind of like, how do we go about, like, I already know who does it. So what's the point of this book? Like, I'm intrigued enough to be like, okay, all right, well, let's go for it. Let's see what happens. And it's super short. So I plan on finishing it on Sunday. And yeah, so that's what I got for you guys. That was my reading week. I had some great stuff. I got to read Heir of Fire and I got to meet Rowan and I'm now obsessed with him. Yes. I got to meet Dagon and Torin and they're beautiful. And I love this series. I've already picked up the 3rd installment and I will be listening to it this week coming up because why the fuck not? I'm just loving this. I'm having a great reading month and I hope you guys had a great week. If you like what you see, link my video, subscribe it, thumbs up it. It really helps out my channel. And I will see you guys all soon with another video.